Ferdinand and Agnes came over from Germany. Most of the records say that she was from Saxony and he was from Bavaria. And there you see how they're right next to each other. Some of the records say that she came from Bavaria, and I have the feeling that she lived there, and when they got married, she moved down here. So they came to America with their two kids, Christina, who was 5, and Kathleen, who was 1 year old. A little bit of the history of Bavaria first. It was one of the oldest communities in Europe at the time. It emerged in a region north of the Alps and was inhabited by the Gauls. So if you jump forward to the Middle Ages, a man named Tassio, who happened to succeed his father when he was age 8, became the ruler. And then in 781, so he would have been 40 some years old at that time, his cousin Charlemagne deposed him, and then later on Tassio's son, who was known as Pippin the Hunchback, established a coup and tried to overthrow who was ruling at that time. So Tassilo, who was in prison at the time, was dragged out of prison and had to renounce his rights and everything. And he probably died a monk, and it says here his entire family was put into a monastery. Then if we jump forward to the 17th and 18th century, we see right here that the dukes replaced his relative, the Count Palatine of the Rhine, in the early days of the 30-Year War. Then we come down here where Napoleon abolished the Holy Roman Empire and Bavaria became a kingdom in 1806. And it was only 1806, maybe 50 years later, that Dad's grandpa was born in Bavaria. Then, after the rise of Prussia, Bavaria allied itself to Austria and was defeated in 1866. So Dad's grandpa would have been a teenager during that time, and then, like we saw, he immigrated to the United States in 1883. If we look at Saxony, which was right next to Bavaria, we see the 900s. It was part of the Holy Roman Empire. And then, just as what happened with Bavaria, in 1806, when Napoleon abolished the Holy Roman Empire, he decreed Saxony a kingdom in itself, which was also true of Bavaria. Then if we come down, 1854, King Frederick, he succeeded the throne in Saxony, and Dad's grandma would have been born a few years after that. In 1848 to 49, it says that Saxony became a hotbed for revolutionaries with anarchists and taking part in the uprising which happened in 1849. I'm not sure when all of these buildings were built, but these are things that Dad's grandma and grandpa would have been familiar with over in Germany.